I was on the YouTube and I saw a movie video, and it was by YouTuber Britt Pettibone, I think that's her name. And she's really smart. And part of what she was saying was that movies have stories with a message.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the problem is that
smart. Yeah, she's smart.
the problem is that studios have tapped into this. They know that some people are so crazy about movies and fandom, it becomes their whole identity sometimes. Like, maybe I'm a Superman fan, and, now they can spew their propaganda through the movies. So now what makes a good movie versus a crap movie is, does the story have an actual message that you can ponder? Or is the message something the studio wants you to think about?
Yeah, agenda.
Yeah.
And even if it's a good message to put out there, is it too heavy-handed?
It doesn't.
There's no subtlety anymore.
But here's the thing: there's a difference between having a message in a movie or having a real life political agenda message that you're trying to push through a movie.
Right. So you could take a side on, say, let's say Jurassic Park. There is a question: can you play God? Can you bring extinct creatures back from the dead?
And if you can, should you? Yeah.
Yeah. And so you can take solidly one side of it and push that side of it if you want, but at least there's a question being asked, right? So I have some movies that you can tell me what you think the message was, the story message, or does it have a studio message?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So how about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny?
I've not seen it yet, but I will say this. Studio message. I've heard enough about it.
I don't know.
What is the story question that's being asked?
That's the problem. There's not a whole lot of... Well, the main story in there is, if you can go back in time and change history, should you? And also, if you know somebody else is going to go and do it for their own well-being, their own good, and their own cause, should you stop that person from doing it?
Yeah. Except that was 5 minutes at the end of the movie.
Yes.
So the whole story took place before we even got to that part.
Yeah.
So that's not the story message.
But that was supposed to be the message.
Now, the premise, allegedly, was a man who's stuck in past glory cannot accept modern day. That's the premise of the movie. And then he goes back and he still can't accept it and he wants to stay there. And you say, okay, well, at least is there a character arc? Well, no, because they force him back against his will.
Yeah.
And even his reconnection with his wife
was just the last 3 minutes of the movie. They just reshot it. That wasn't even supposed to be in the film.
But even other characters set that up for him. He didn't even do it himself.
No. And the wife didn't even come back on her own.
So, what was the studio message?
It's just another tear down the patriarchy movie. A man had his glory and fame, and okay, so now we're going to go back and strip it away. That's it.
And the future is female.
And the future's female.
Which is a very big Lucasfilm, Disney kind of thing. And it was headed by Kathleen Kennedy.
Of course.
So, was the studio message more powerful than the question?
It was, because I'm not sure if the movie made it this way, but definitely all the talk and people talking about the movie in YouTube critics and all that kind of stuff. That's definitely the message that was received.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, they created a character that was supposed to be rivaling Indiana Jones that we are now supposed to try and fall in love with. And they created a thief, a smartass that no one likes, who was just in it for the money. And Jones was in it for the history, right? He wanted to put things in a museum. He was there for the archaeology. So they created a bad character to try and make us like the new character more than the old character. And by just making him old and not care about his life anymore, doesn't make the other person better. And that's all Disney knows right now. They got it. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson's character, tear him down. He's old. He's too old to do that. Tear down Luke Skywalker. He's too old. He can't do that anymore. Tear down Indiana Jones. That's their MO. That's all they know. And it's
So is that a studio message?
a studio message. It's a Kathleen Kennedy particular message.
Okay. Also in 2023, The Little Mermaid. The premise. Ariel wants to go and be part of a new world. She feels constrained by her own culture and wants to leave that behind in pursuit of her own dreams. That's the Little Mermaid premise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now you can ask the question, of course. Is it okay to sacrifice those things in pursuit of your own dreams? Are your dreams more important than your family and your culture? That's an okay question, right?
According to everybody in the world, your feelings are supposed to be what's most important in the world. The way everyone feels right now.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can ask
Feelings outweigh everything. Yeah.
Whichever way you come down on it, you can ask the question.
Yeah.
So the original Little Mermaid had a good story question.
Yes.
Now, they remade it, but they made some changes to the movie. Now,
And those changes were the message.
the studio message. So what was the studio message for the remake?
Well, the movie itself didn't need to be made. Right?
Well, they're doing all live action, so
Yeah, but it didn't
they're
need
going
to be made.
Okay, but it was made.
No movie ever needs to be.
So, in this remake, what was the studio message?
Well, the studio message it's basically all just race swaps. Like it's a race swap movie. That's all it is. We're replacing the traditional with what we think is,
Yeah, so they switched out
it's affirmative action in movies.
the main character, all the sisters, and the royal family.
Yeah.
And then there was the change in the lyric for the Kiss the Girl song that you didn't like too much about asking for consent.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was definitely in there. Now, here's the thing: by changing just the sisters, right? And now it's a multinational conglomerate of sisters. One's Asian, one's from here, one's from there, one's there. Well, man, King, you get around. How many women did you sleep with?
Yeah. It doesn't work that way.
It's no longer he lost his wife anymore, King Titan.
One fish lays many eggs.
You know, so. Yeah, but he slept with many different fish to have that different kind of,
So I think regarding the remake, I think the studio message is pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think either of those two movies are going to be considered successes?
No.
No. Listen, when they first started talking about a live action Little Mermaid, they didn't talk about, wow, how we're going to bring the sea to life and it's going to be amazing. The first thing they talked about was little Ariel's black. That was the message. They didn't care about the movie.
And you know what? It could have even been a non-issue had the other changes in the movie just not been there. But it was very heavy-handed, right?
Yeah, but if they'd have come out and said, you know what, we test screened 500 women, and Bailey was the best singer, and so we had to choose her. I could have gone on board with that, but they didn't. They just hired her, and it was just for the message. It wasn't because she's the only person who could have done it. And she was good. Like, she sung great. She looks fine as the mermaid. It just wasn't Little Mermaid. It didn't need to be done. They did it because they wanted to show how progressive they are. And by showing how progressive they are, they actually put back actresses of color and actors of color further back, because you can know we're not going to write stories for you. We're not going to make scripts for you. We're just going to make you this person now.
We're going to put you in something that's already
But
done.
not only that, but people are getting so tired of it that they're resenting
And not going.
black actors and black actresses,
that's right.
Okay, so let's talk about two other 2023 movies. Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3.
Haven't seen that one yet.
I don't know. What's the story message?
But I hear the soundtrack isn't as good.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, there was two.
Like it took me a while to figure this out,
Yeah.
but it's to me it's how much evil are you willing to do in pursuit of your
Perfection.
utopia?
Yeah. What are people willing to put up with?
And
For that.
what's the studio message?
Is there one?
What is the studio message?
I don't know. The closest I came
Well, that might be the reason this is the most successful movie, because we can't think of what the studio message is.
Even if we can think of one, it's not more powerful than the question.
And it's
being
not in your
asked, right?
face.
Yeah.
So if they're trying to give us a message, we didn't get it.
Yeah.
And this is the most successful of the movies you mentioned so far. Coincidence? I don't think so.
Okay. Last one is Super Mario Bros. The top grossing movie this year worldwide.
So far.
Okay.
So the movie message.
But I think that's the classic "Follow Your Dreams."
Nope.
What do you think it is?
Only by sticking together can we achieve the impossible. By being brave, they fight for each other.
Okay, sure, I'll take that.
Okay. And now the studio message.
Now, I don't think there was a studio message.
Well, there was a studio message that did not appear.
Okay.
It's a hidden message. The message was, we're just going to make it for the fans.
No? Well, I guess. But the original movie focused on Princess Peach as the hero.
I know that.
Yeah.
And the original developer said, of Mario said, no.
No.
Mario's the hero, and he will remain the hero.
Yeah.
That's our product, not
So,
her.
so the studio wanted to make that, I guess, woke change. The future is female kind of thing happening. And they said, no. We're going to have a successful movie. You're going to do it the way it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Follow
Mario's
the
our
law.
guy.
Yeah.
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 And it's the top grossing movie ever.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Guardians
not ever, but
Well,
this year.
This year. But Guardians of the Galaxy and Super Mario Bros. are raking in the cash,
Yeah.
and the other two movies are probably going
Yeah.
to lose money.
Less social
Well,
agenda.
they definitely lost money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
So
And will never be watched again. That's the problem. Like they didn't need. I mean, if you would have took an Indiana Jones movie and you make it, maybe it was his daughter that he didn't know he had. She comes and finds him. They go on an adventure together. She learns from him as they're going along, and they work together. Could have been a good story, but no. She has to be better than him. She has to be the one who's figuring out the problems. She has to do this. She has to do that. She has to be the one to bring him back. She had to be everything. Instead of writing a story, you wrote a story to try and take over a character, and you wrote a bad character. And that's the problem with Hollywood.
So I think if you go down the list of all the successes and failures,
You probably
could
find-
probably apply this to every one of them.
Yeah, probably find the same thing, yeah.
Pretty easy. Actually, pretty easy. Now, there could be one exception to the rule, and it just happened. Barbie. Because, yes...
Oh, wait. Do you want to do this in your actual
well, I'll
review?
talk about it, but it's part of this a little bit.
Okay.
Like, I'll just cover skim. Like, it's very heavy, against the patriarch. They say it in the movie. We have to... Where's the patriarchy? We have to... Ken's looking for the patriarchy. Was it done really well and heavy-handed? I didn't think it as heavy-handed as a lot of people out there just trying to make it heavy-handed. It is there, but the trouble is more that I didn't like the movie because it wasn't funny, more than the message that they were trying to send across with a Barbie
Okay,
movie.
well, for this video, the question is there a movie message and is there a studio message?
There is a studio message in there, and there's the movie message is the same thing in there.
What's the movie message?
Fight the patriarchy.
What's the question?
Women solve the problems. Men are the problems. Even in the movie, Ken is the problem in the movie. And of course, they have every stereotypical male you can see in the movie. The guy slaps her butt. The construction guy's hooting and hollering at her. Every stereotypic guy you can think of. That's in the movie.
So there really is no question being asked. You're just being told
they're just
the
being
answer.
told that. That's the message. This is the way it is, and Barbie is here to.
So I wouldn't call that an
to solve
exception.
it. Except, I think it could do really well in the theaters.
I don't think it will be.
Well, it was the busiest movie yesterday.
Okay, possibly.
And it just
it will have an audience.
Yes.
But how many men do you think are going to go to watch this?
Not by themselves, but I bet you they get taken.
Well, there are lots of men who appreciate Margot Robbie. There's lots
Sure.
of men who are seeing.
But I think those are the kinds of guys that if they're going to see it, they're going to wait till it comes
Ryan
out.
Gosling
Ryan Gosling. People
and Simu Lee.
might think that there's some wacky comedy that's going to happen, and not necessarily are prepared for a patriarchy movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I think it'll
it's not as
do
heavy-handed
decent,
as
but
a
I don't
lot of
think it'll
people
be.
think.
I don't think it'll be as massive as everybody thinks it's going to be.
I don't think it'll make $1 billion, but I don't think it'll be a flop like
Well,
these
we
other
walked out of
movies.
Oppenheimer, and there were people there in full body pink outfits
Yeah.
going in to see it.
Yeah, and that'll be the original, like the original swarm of people to see it, and then I think it's gonna.
That's
stop.
what I say. This could be the exception to this rule so far.
No, I don't think.
Well,
there's
Like, are these
exception.
people? Like, these people are going in to watch it. Are they coming out happy?
No,
Like all these people dressed in pink. Are they coming out saying, "Man, that was a good movie"?
well, we don't know, but there has to be a question. Like, you can't just tell us the answer. There has to be the question to intrigue people to consider. That's what makes the good movie.
Well, are men bad? That's the question. And in the movie, they say yes.
That's the answer is yes. The answer they
It's pretty
come to is
simple.
yes.
In there.
Uh,
Anyway, I'll get into it in my review. It's just like I went and saw it. I saw it by myself. None of these guys came with me.
Were you in pink?
I was not in pink, but
You missed an opportunity.
I had some feelings, but I think my video review will come out before this video, so go back and check it and double check what I said. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Movie Related. That is because Mark made us watch a movie.